or a gal could easily get tricked into thinking, hey, when my card's right, this is a 3 or 4 hour deal, but that ain't the case at all. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Mackie's relaxing in the yard. Let's see if we can sneak up on him. Oh, he saw us. Hey bud, what are you doing? Resting in the shade? He's the best guy. Who's the best boy? He's getting a special haircut next weekend. Yeah, okay. Oh, you fell down. Alright. Oh, he fell down, you guys. He's gonna need a little belly rub now. Oh, bless you. Good boy. Alright. Sorry about the wind. We got to get stuff done today. Actually, one thing. And of course, as soon as I start talking, the wind really comes up. But we got one thing to do today. We're a little late getting going. But it's something that, you know, we're going to power through. So 99 Mustang is back in the shop over here. Paint correction is done, shined it up, buffed it up. We're still waiting for the new graphics, but it's looking fresh. We did get just a sprinkle of rain yesterday, so you can see where the water was beaded up on it. But what do you guys think? What are we doing today? Ideas? What are we missing? What still looks like it needs attention on this rig other than the stickers? There. That should do it. Let's have a dad pop. What's in the box, you might ask? Well, and what we have here is a Key brand KEE auto top. The one-piece Mustang economy top with the plastic rear window. Woo! That was a close one. Let's get rid of the box. We don't need that. That's just the inside is the black. Okay. We got 2 layers of material and constructions. We'll keep those. We'll use those a little bit. This has got a big yellow block on here. 8-year warranty. Okay, we'll have to give that to the customer. This has become an unboxing video, just so you know. And here we go. Look at this, you guys. We got some papers. Here's our plastic back window. Ah, buddy. So that, I can look at the color difference already. Darn it. The paper, yeah. The paper. Alright, the Key, KEE one-piece top. Look right here in the color difference. This is what we're worried about. We've got some ripping that started here. The piping is all cracked. And then the color is just not cool. So look at that already, guys. It's, from what I can tell, an exact match fabric wise. The piping is, the stitching is, I'm pretty happy so far, pretty excited. Here's our heat sealed, seam sealed rear window. It is going to be plastic now, so we'll have to take care in wiping that off. It will scratch pretty easily. Here's a really good way, look at this, how you can just see the color difference, you guys. These customers just going to be stoked when they see this car again. Now, so we're going to get right to it. Now, we've ordered this from CJ Pony Parts. They have a YouTube channel and they actually have a video, and I'm going to put a link to their video in our description because it's a really concise and helpful video. If anyone, any of y'all or me would try and do the two-piece top with the glass window, that's the difference here, is this is one-piece plastic window. Most, if not all, of the two-piece tops where you get to keep your glass and your rear window defrost, those require a high level of experience and expertise in the automotive upholstery headliner soft top world. You're talking half price or less of what it would take to do the two-piece top. But CJ Pony Parts, their video is very, very informative. After watching it about 300 million times, I do think we're going to be able to get this done in a timely manner. I'm going to stop rambling now and we're going to get after it. First inside the car, we're going to start by unlatching our top on both sides. Pull these arms out, and then you have to have the key on and the park brake set. They don't want you putting this top up and down while you're going down the road, apparently, even though that would be, could be fairly spectacular. And then here's up. Oh, that's down, sorry. Here's up. We're gonna go about a quarter of the way, about like that. That's where we're gonna stop. And it's right out of the gate, I've got something just a little bit different on this model Mustang. As on CJ's video, they show these as just being panel fasteners, like plastic clips. We had actual T20 Torx bits that held our top edge weather strip in, but you take those out and then you peel this back, and the rest of this weather strip should come right off of this channel like that. You'll have one of these on each side. All right, I turned the car around so we could take advantage of the natural light and not be staring into it. Next thing is there's a header panel here with 13 little screws holding it on. They are Torx T10s. I had to dig a little bit to find a T10 bit. And these are mine are just a little rusty here, so make sure that bit gets in there before you go tweaking on it, and you don't want to strip one of these guys out. Okay, and then that comes off. So now you can see, it's especially easy to see on this white top, all these factory staples gotta come out all the way across. So yeah, it might be time-lapse music time here for just a couple minutes. On the ends here, there's a little plastic panel that these staples go into, and it actually broke over here. Just a little section of it broke out. It's still attached, so we're gonna be okay going back together. But then once you get past that, yeah, the rest of these are coming out. Just get under them with a screwdriver a little bit and they're popping right out. Okay, so that was the first, anxiety step that I had in my brain. I will tell you, in CJ's video, they came across adhesive on the corners here. We did not. There's no sign of any adhesive there, so that's a good thing. Now, one thing I will say, in CJ's video, they say once you get a couple off, just grip the fabric and pull on it. This plastic piece where the staples go into is pretty brittle, and it's only riveted about every 5 or 6 inches, so I'd be leery of just pulling on it I like, you know, taking a longer screwdriver and getting just under the edge of the staple and doing one at a time. That's going to be a lot friendlier to that plastic piece. So we're back to the T20, and this slide rail that held your weather stripping on needs to come off. There's 3 machine screws that hold it on. Okay, and again, in CJ's video, they just popped this guy right off. This one clearly has an adhesive strip under it. I had to get under it with a little bit of a screwdriver. And there you can see it pulling apart down in there. So just take your time. It should come off here. So there is no adhesive there. It just over the years got stuck. So no big deal. We'll pull the other one off now. They're able to pull this top all the way back and expose this bow. Not sure how, because there's the cable that pulls it taut runs through the piping here and attaches up here with a 3/16 pop rivet. What we are going to do so that we can actually get to this bow and be more efficient overall, we've got rivets. We're going to drill these out so we can fold our top all the way back down, and when we go to insert this cable back in here, it'll be fine. We'll get it back together because this end should just be an eyelet. So yeah, we're gonna go at this just a little bit different at this point. Both of these guys are getting drilled out. Now we're kind of back on track with the Sellers video here. This bow's gotta come. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Sure thing. Sure thing. So we're gonna get in here. There's 2 bigger screws, machine screws on each end of this bow that hold it in. So the bow is held on by 2 screws here, and then the bow is held on to the top piece by a bunch of smaller screws on this plastic piece here. We're going to take the 2 on the ends first so that we can then rotate that bow and get to the rest of those screws more easily, and we don't have to fish under here like that. And these are T27, so yeah, it's a little bit oddball, but we've got one somewhere. Get you one of these little hex bit ratcheting wrenches. This was at the greatest place on earth, like $9, $11, something like that. Priceless when you need it. So far we're a little off script, but not horrible. So like I said, we've got it off of there now, and we can take this bow and rotate it a little bit and get to these guys. And we're back down to like T15 or 20 or something on those. I will tell you, if you got T-Rex arms, you're gonna struggle. The answer, these staples go with the pad. So on each end of each bow, there's a couple sets of staples. We are gonna pop those out. We'll replace them when we go back together. Now we should be able to just kind of go whoop down to here. And again, we've got the same scenario, 2 outer screws, and then we should be able to rotate this a little bit and get the inner screws. For the records, I have never in my forevers attempted to install a convertible top. I'd say, you know, just like when I was a youngster, the disassembly part's going great. We rolled the top back forward a little bit, and now we're after this guy. This middle section apparently gets to stay, but this third section of weather stripping, it's kind of tucked in there. You got to get this leading edge down, and then it should roll out of that spot and go like that, because we're after those screws. I think, is there a third one? Yeah, there's a third one up here too. Gonna get it started. Don't manhandle these, you know, take it a little bit easy. There it goes. Then the 3 T20s, that one's not. Got it. Okay. I know where it's at. And for the record, every set of fasteners, I kid you not, on this car that we've had to take off, whether it's been these 3 or the 5 across the bow or the 13 or whatever little bit you're doing, a completely different looking fastener. So you're gonna have to kind of remember where they came from and where they go back. And that's the wrong bit for that. Okay, so this comes out of here, and it's got this foam backing on it, so it will kind of sort of stick. And then here we do have glued on top material, so we're gonna have to get in here with a plastic scraper and peel that back so we can roll the top the rest of the way that way. This is not bad at all. It's like double-sided tape that they put up in there and then just adhered to it. That's it. Huh, no problem. So now if you try to pull this top back further to get to that third bow, you can't, because the cable runs through this little guide here. Just take a flat blade screwdriver, pry up on that just enough to get him out. And then same thing here. And here's the end of our cable. Now we're on this third bow, and we're just reaching right in behind here. I can see those two, so it's just like the other ones. It's a little bit different, longer bow itself. And these holes do appear to maybe be slotted just a little bit, but same thing. 2 larger screws on the ends with your T27, and then this might actually, it's going to slide over. It slides over an arm here. I have to He-man this just a little bit. There we go. Other side now. Okay, it is stapled to the window. We're going to leave that attached to the top for now, that third bow. It should come out with it. Let's move along. All right, a little bit of change of plans. CJ Pony Parts says that we can pull these steeples out now. In their video, I had missed that. So we're going to just do this. There. And then the glass is your separate piece. Here, I'll show you. And it's also got to get unstapled. This is where your 2-piece top comes into play. Here's your second piece of the top, is the actual insert. And it staples along here and then holds your glass, your factory glass. So we're going to come along here and get all of these staples out of that bad ride too. There's some sticky glue stuff here that we'll save and maybe reattach when we go back together. Lots of staples here. We might get some music for you now for sure. I don't know. Let's see. We're gonna start it and then see if we can't just do the old put the glove on and rip her out trick. Oh yeah, we got this. Well, we're not pulling them out, but we're ripping through that second top. That should be all right though. We can just staple back over those. Okay, as far as I can tell, there's no further attachment between the top and the top hardware. The only thing we got left to do is to remove the attachment to the body of the vehicle. Okay, here's our other cable, and I don't know how well you guys can see, but it's not just a hook, it's a hook that goes through and captures this, almost like a fishing kind of keeper, but it's a hook that goes around and under and then captures back over itself. So the first thing you got to do is pull the hook over that, and then we'll probably get like a needle nose vice grips and clamp it on there super tight and pull on it, get it off of our eyelet, and then we're going to try and hook it right onto this little thing here. That's what they do in the CJ video. Okay, we got it. It fights a little bit because it's got the hooky end on it, so it's a little bit of a struggle to get it through the eye of that button, but we got it, and then it hooks right over that, so it can stay there until it's time to go back together. All right, now we're in the trunk. Well, you're in the trunk. First note though, this is a strut trunk, so it's got the hydros holding the lid up. First time I put it up and went to go grab the body panel tool, it closed. So you don't want the thing closing on your midsection, or Lord forbid you're already all the way in the trunk and it closes. So this is one of my best investments recently. I got a hood prop rod that's adjustable. I don't know, it goes up and down, but it'll hold that for me just in case. But now we're in here. We're gonna start. There's 3 clips, body clips holding on the carpet here. They might break, and that's all right. We've got replacements. Okay. That's out of the way. I'm not seeing what they said I would see. Oh, okay. That's got a... Huh. We're going to try to again go off script. And we're going to take these 6 screws out from this center section of trim here and see if we can't get to our next set of fasteners a little easier by actually folding the top all the way over the back of the trunk. Maybe we can do that. Maybe that's what we're supposed to do. I don't know. Okay, not fun part alert. So you'd kind of get an idea by watching CJ's video, CJ Pony Parts video, but you got to get in here, and there's an inner fabric that kind of button loops over the bolts that you're going to want to take out, and you just kind of got to blind reach in there. There's that one. Come on now. There we go. There. Okay, that's all those. Now there's bolts that hold that as well. I think they're 10 millimeter maybe, but I think they're 12 point. So let's try and get those out somehow. Oh no, they go all the way around. This is a, okay, hang on, I got it. we can do this. I can show you now a little bit. So under here, this guy, it's like if you were to put on a button shirt, pull that part off, and then this is a nut, and these go all the way around here, all the way to the other side. I want to say there's like 13 of them. So we got to unbutton the shirt all the way across here. This last corner one's kind of a bear. There we go. Not horrible. Okay, and there's our wire for our rear window defrost. We got to remember to unhook that sometime. All right, anyway, we'll unhook the wire for the defrost, and then we'll start getting those nuts out. You won't be able to watch because it's pretty impossible to get a camera in there. The nice thing about executive decisions is if you're the only executive around, you just get to go. This is happening. No more white top. Well, yellow top. And then that can come out too. Now, it looks different, I think, a little bit, doesn't it? Now you can see those bolts that we couldn't see earlier. They're right under here. All right, we're going off script here just a little bit from CJ's video. Now they do at this point, for some reason now, I remember they come back and they take this tensioner cable off. We did it way earlier and I don't know, but either way, I think both ways work, I think. However, we're at the point here where I want this molding off, and there's 3 little clips under here that hold the fabric over the edge of this sheet metal panel, but you have to pull up on this molding. It's still fastened. There's a screw under here, and then in the back center section there's screws back here, but there's also got to be some retention here, and I want to be able to take this all the way up so I can cleanly put the new fabric on. And in order to do that, we got to take the back seat all the way out and these side panels out to get to what we need to get to in there. So every once in a while Ford just decides we got to be different than everybody, and this is one of those times. The rear seats in these Mustangs, you know, most places will just have a little spring clip. If you pull up, you know, give it a little jerk, they'll pop out. Not Ford. Ford, you have to get in here with a little tool, push on this plastic lever, and then they'll pop out. Why do you always have to just be different and difficult? But it's out. We got some, you know, the mices were partying back here, having a good old time, and we've got some, ooh, a quarter. That might be a tip. We'll vacuum all this after, but now we've got just 2 10mm bolts, and we can get the back of the seat out, and then we can go about getting these side panels out. There's a body clip back here, don't forget about, on the back side of this panel. 2 there, and then these 2 little guys here got to come out. And at that point, we should be able to pop this window molding off. And then, ding, 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 we can get to the screws that we knew were there. All right, once we get these 2 screws out, I'll show you on this side. And then we can just walk this side piece out. Actually, we can just take the center piece off with this side piece. We're gonna set them down over here. All right. Now, there's these 3 little clips here. We'll grab a little flathead screwdriver. Now they're a lot easier. Son of a biscuit! I think I broke the skin. They're a lot easier to manage now. Alright, with all our clippies out, now maybe we can move this a little easier. Oh yeah. Now we can come out. Let's try the other side here. Yay! It's topless. Like literally for, yeah, it's topless. All right, we're gonna do a little cleaning, and I guess we'll just get right back after putting a new one on. Okay, new least favorite part of this task on the reinforcing bows, or the retainer bows. You got the center section, the two side sections. The old top is not actually captured by the bolts. It's stapled on across the entire thing. I just wrangled all those staples out of the center retainer strap, and both side retainer straps were the same way. So officially there is not a shred of the old top on this car, and it's time to proceed with installing the new. I gotta wash my hands because this thing is like sunglasses white. Okay, so the first step putting this new top on is we got to get these support straps back on. And if you recall, our fronts are all busted up. There's supposed to be staples along here in a plastic strip. Well, we don't have a plastic strip anymore. I was going to just drill out these rivets, hot stick holes through this fabric, and just rivet the fabric on, but it's supposed to go to about, if you look at the broken pieces, it goes to about here, and there's no space in between to rivet to. So next option, can we find a replacement piece of plastic? Well, went digging around the shop a little bit and found this old license plate frame from some used car lot. Cut it up. Well, first of all, I took our electric stapler gun and made sure that I could blast the staple into this. Right up here is where I tested it without it just breaking to pieces, and it didn't hate that. So we cut a chunk out, and we're gonna do a little something like that, and then we can staple back into this, I hope. So we got to drill these 3 rivets out. They are 1/8 inch rivets, I'm fairly certain. Yeah. And then we'll drill holes and rivet this piece in, and then we can staple to it. Eighth inch by 1/4 inch aluminum rivets. That's our new strip that we will staple into. So now, we removed all our staples out of our fabric. All right, we got 1/4 inch staples. That is the shallowest T50 staple I've been able to find locally. It worked on the other side, like I said, so we're just gonna bear into it. You do have to really get down on it here. But it's been working pretty well. And then we have our little strip of padding that goes right there. All right, now we can move on. Okay, unlike the factory one, this one actually has slots and holes. This is how we're going to align it in the back. This center hole isn't slotted, so that's where we're going to start, and then we'll move forward. Now, one of the concerns I have is, how do you keep it from getting cockeyed as you move forward? There's not really a lot to keep it centered forward, I don't think, but we're just gonna go slow. We'll get the back going and kind of go from there, I think. Okay, on this third bow is where we're gonna start, and it does not have a channel for the bow to go through. It was stapled, the factory one was, and this one gets stapled back on. There's just a little flap here, and the middle screw on the bowl is the middle screw on the bow is the center, and then you actually measure the flap and find the center. Ours was 32.5 inches, so we went to about 16.25 and made a mark. We'll line that up directly above that center screw and start stapling from the center out. I went and looked at the factory one just to kind of get an idea where we want the edge of our fabric to end up. We're going to put it right in the center. There's two ribs. There's a forward rib and a back rib, and then the center is the soft part that you staple into, and we're going to put the edge of our flap right at the crown of the back rib of the bow. Up there. Good miss. Okay, now we're going to put our second bow in. Our pad goes between the bow and the top. There we go. Goes there. Put our two bolts in on each side. We're just gonna get these kind of sort of hand tight to, you know, just where we know they're good. All right, I have a new most hated part of this installation. So what you're supposed to do on these front two bows and the new top is, and it says in the video, it says, hey, you might want an extra set of hands. And I'll tell you right now, thank goodness for the video, folks, because this is single page steps instructions for installation. This is all that comes with it. And the first blah 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 blah, remove. It's 22 steps. The first 13 are removal, so you have 9 steps, and the last one is to wash the top in the car and enjoy your top. All right, yeah, those are not worthy, but we're at the point where we are attaching our headliner back to the second and then the first bow, and luckily in the video he says, hey, might need an extra set of hands. You have to lift up on the top so the seam is at the top of the bow, and then you have to locate and screw in the screw. And oh, by the way, you have to come in from down under here, and it goes in underneath where my fingers are right here, down in here. So you got very limited spaces. And there are, of course, are no holes in this fabric. So what we've done is, you know, went back to the old school method of making a hole in some non-cotton fabric, and we are lifting up and then we're poking through to find a hole with a pick, and then we're gonna go here. We got an old shingle nail and a micro torch. It doesn't have to be red hot, but it's just got to hold flame here for a little bit while I manipulate things. That should be good. Set that down, pick this up. There's our hole, and we'll melt into it. Now we have a legit hole. Otherwise, without this, you're trying to poke a screw through fabric. We all know how that works. It'll grab, it'll twist. This way, you got a nice clean hole. You can get your screw started. Plus, you can help line it up with, you know, the hole that's on the bottom side of this when you're screwing from the bottom side of this. So we've got the passenger side started. Ideally, we should have started somewhere in the center, but we didn't. And yeah, we're working our way across to driver's side. We've got 3 done. We've got 2 left to do. And then we have the second bow. This part is, yeah, my new unfavoritist part of this install. It's taken forever, but you have to go slow and you have to do your best work. All right, we got the 3rd bow done, tightened. We've moved on to the 2nd bow, going through the same process. We started in the center on this one. We were able to get to the center one easier, and we're working out. And what I'm doing is I'm making sure the bow is straight up and down, and then I'm centering the seamed part of this channel. And then you feel with your fingers, and you can feel the swollen part where the hole is in the plastic underneath. We're just using a little right angle pick. We carefully pull the pick out so it's out of the plastic but still in the fabric, and then we can kind of wiggle it around, rotate it to where we can get it. We'll try it here. There it goes. Now you got a nice hole that you can feed your screw in. There's 1, 2, 3. We've got to go do the 2 on the other side, and then we'll show you the process of screwing on the headliner on this one. Thank goodness for this little guy. No fun. Hopefully there aren't any other, you know, surprises like this. This was not fun to figure out. The guy or gal could easily get tricked into thinking, hey, if my card's right, this is a 3 or 4 hour deal, but that ain't the case at all. Oh, I see. All right, that step's done. Holy smokes. All right, a couple things. We've officially switched from kid pops to dad pops. And the next step, not nearly as complicated as the previous one. We just got to route our new tension cables, and they are nice enough to plant a string in where they go. So we're going to tie on to the spring end of this and pull here as we get it started up here. Pull it down through the channel. There we go. Eventually we'll reattach that there, and then we got to put our rivet back in up here. That's not so bad. We got updates. It's almost completely dark. That kind of stinks, but we're making progress. We have our tensioner cable riveted in, and we went ahead and hooked it down here, ran it through its little clip. Now these are specific left and right because they hang up over here and hang down. All right, so don't get those mixed up. Next big step is we got to put the bottom, the back of the top onto these studs and install this. This will be called a tack strip. Now, good news is we don't have to staple anything to this, but we do have to weasel our way into the car and get all this, you know, installed. The nice thing about this is these all have a little bit of wobble to them, except for the center one. This is where we're going to align things, and it goes, I think it goes to this guy right here. So yeah, I think without the back seat in, we'll be able to push this back together without too much trouble. I'm going to put you guys out here. If you see something weird happen, let me know, but you might be able to see a little bit through the new plastique window. That's fine. Oh, don't scratch the window. It's a brand new window. But so far so good. Ugh. All right, we're still gaining. All 19 of the bolts back here are on. We fought these main tensioner clips down here and got those back on. There's no real trick. Get a big vice grip or needle nose pliers, and you just have to get the hook through the eyelet of the top, and then then you're halfway home. 4 clips on each side for back here. We went ahead and put this weather strip channel in. The holes did not line up on this side. They did kind of on the other side. And then we put this weather strip in. And we're just kind of following along with CJ Pony's video. We still haven't secured the top and stapled it at the front edge. We're going to go ahead, though, and start to reassemble our trim now. Right in here we've got just a little bit of material sticking out. We're just taking a ballpoint pen and marking it, and then we'll come back in with some scissors and just slice it off. We got a little bit sticking out on either side. Gains, folks. Okay, so what I did, I kind of did a test fit. I wrapped the corners and put a clamp on, and then I pulled down the center to where they suggest pulling it to in the CJ video, and clamped it, and then I brought the top down, and it tightened right up, but I don't think it was too tight to where if we go ahead and pull it the rest of the way in and put the top up, there's going to be any damage. So I'm happy with this, and now I've started my final stapling, I think. In their video, they did the corners and then they went and did the top. What it looks like to me, looking at the factory one, is it looks like they staple on the top and then you can see it start to gather and crease as they get to the corners. So I'm doing it that way. I've started in the middle and just kind of spreading out. So it'll be a little bit of a process, but we're still gaining. That's more like it. All right, now we're gonna get the glue in here. Next side of that onto here. We'll fold that over. Like so. And should have enough in here. Do that. Just like that. We're going to staple. I like that corner right there. I like it. Hopefully the other side turns out that nice. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, we are glued on both corners and stapled all the way across into the retaining strip. Some of the staples are a little bent up, but they're in there. We're going to go ahead and put our trim piece on in here, and then we'll be pretty close to buttoning this up. I'm pretty excited. I think it's really going to look nice, you guys. How's your life? Pretty good. Having the best dog life ever? Yeah, you are. We're back. It's been two days. We didn't do anything yesterday. I got like well, we did a little bit yesterday. No, we didn't do anything. I had like a 12-hour bug, I'm gonna call it. It's been 24 hours. I feel a lot better today, but it was a rough evening and overnight. But I just can't sit around and wait for something to happen. We'll get you updated here, but it has been a little while, and to be honest, I don't know where I left you off on the final bits of the install on this, because it was getting pretty late. The top, we got her on. Lousy instructions, okay video for reference, but we got it on. But it was really tight, and I'll show you what we had to do to actually get it closed the first time. But we did get it closed. We let it sit out yesterday. It got up to about 83 degrees, and we just let the car sit out in the sun. And here's our final result. Now, it did, just because I put this new soft top on this Mustang, Mother Nature came and sprinkled just enough to make things show sprinkles. But look at this. There's a couple little stains. We'll wash her off here before we deliver. But the end result, you guys, and I like the back window. For one, it's way bigger. It's gonna be a lot easier to see out of here. But it went on not too bad. Yeah, but if you weren't privy to the video and used only the instructions, you'd be in a world of hurt, I'm telling you what. So let's pull this into shop and I'll show you up and down, and then we just got to button up. We got to put the quarter trim pieces in, put the seat back in, clean it all up one more time, and then we're moving. From the inside, the headliner, we got to vacuum it one more time, but looks nice and flat and flush. That turned out well. You know, getting those bows centered, I think, is one of the key aspects of this. If you don't lift up on that top and get your screws for the bows in the center of that sleeve, you're in big trouble, I think. But the first time we went to close this, I kid you not, I'm gonna go ahead and unlatch. Oh, unlatch, there we go, unlatch all the way maybe. We could get it to about, and I gotta push, we could get it to about there. And maybe there. And I actually had to, we took a 1-inch ratchet strap from the top door hinge to back here and pulled the top forward with a ratchet strap to get it to latch the first time. And now we're, you know, if we pull down together, we're right there. We can pull her in with the latches just fine. So it stretched in just like I was hoping it would. You know, I knew it would. But let's go ahead and go up. Ooh, battery's charged pretty good today. So we're up, folds back nicely. Everything's happy. From the outsides, top down, up. Like that. It worked out great. That's your key, one piece. I think they call it an economy top, but it looks really good. Dress the car right up. I mean, it was the right thing to do for this little Mustang. Hey, thanks for watching this one. Bottom line, the video that we referred to, that's down in the link, they skimmed over a couple of the more harder parts, but if you just relax a little bit, life will be okay. One thing really that I did different, that I would suggest everybody moving forward does different than what they did in that video. And in their video, in CJ's video, they came over here and glued the corners, and then they pulled the rest taut. That's just a bad idea. Come into the center, get that flap folded under and put right to the edge of that foam, and pull it there, and then work out towards each corner, so you're doing the corners last. It's just gonna cause you problems if you try and do the corners first, and then, you know, you get wrinkles up in here. You want this eyebrow here to be really nice and flat. Now there are still just a couple wavies here, a couple of folds that still need to work out as it sits out in the sun and kind of goes through heating and cooling cycles. But overall, ended up being a pretty decent project. Not impossible to do, but you do have to use your patience. And if you think you're going to get by with just the constructions that they send, no flipping way. Appreciate you watching this one. Click like, subscribe. We got a little bit more to do on this Mustang, and then it'll be out the door. See you on the next video.